you're listening to the sound and you realize the volume's been turned down and you still hear this clear, real sound. It's not fluttering, it's just a pure, soft sound. And then it goes from there and they start pulling on the string with the bow and it's increasing in volume. And then all of a sudden you have this huge, rich sound. It just doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. I am William Harris Lee, and I own William Harris Lee and Company in Chicago. Great violin making is like great playing. You don't become a great player without practicing. And one of the things that's unique about our shop is that we have makers who spend their entire days making instruments. We've been able to have this core of makers, and each one of them has been able to hold on to their own stylistic integrity. So they also have a particular kind of sound, a particular kind of craftsmanship. And a lot of shops in the past, you didn't have that. Everybody was trying to make the same thing. And we have a broad enough market that we're able to let them express themselves through their instruments.
I'm Eli Biaggi Lee. I have been in the shop, for better or worse, for my whole life. That's about 26 years now at this point. This building has been a hub for violin makers for the past 40 or maybe even 60 years. There are probably upwards of 5 or 6 violin shops in this building alone. We're certainly the biggest in terms of production and in terms of actual footprint. We were founded in 1978, initially doing more wholesale parts, not actually making instruments ourselves. We were selling instruments that we didn't make, we were selling materials, we were selling accessories, and that was all on the 10th floor of the Fine Arts Building.
When I decided to start this company, there was a real hole in the market for instruments that were being made in the United States. So our goal early on was to make instruments here. Majority of instruments were coming at that time from Germany. It was sort of the commercial center of it. I decided that I would develop a violin making studio, and with the help of a few of the people that initially came to work with us, we started that off.
Every instrument is absolutely unique, just like people. All of our instruments are built by makers that have real qualification. When you build a violin, it cannot be replicated using a mechanized or programmed process. You can 3D print a violin, you can machine make a violin, but it will not compare to a Strad. It will not compare to something that is 300 years old. It simply cannot compare to anything like that. The sound and the response that you get from a handmade instrument only comes from the expertise of the people that felt that wood to see how flexible it was and made that determination of whether they should go thinner or not.
There's always been a relationship between composers, musicians, and instrument makers that had to progress together to create music as we know it today. It's an evolution that depended on everybody making progress sort of in a parallel world. And that's, I think, what makers today have to do, is be in touch with their audience. Know what it's going to be used for. How can I make something that's going to be better for the people who are playing them to make them a better musician. How can I do those kinds of things?